So you struggle with burnout too. Follow me. Last week, my podcast reached number 26 on all of Spotify for education, and I have you to thank for that. Seriously, that means the world. These podcasts take an incredible amount of time to create from scratch, and that bit of encouragement was incredible. The first two episodes have been received so well and shared so many times by you that I really wanted to post episode 3 to YouTube as well. And also, I'm the most proud of this episode than anything that I've made in a very long time. It's part 2 to episode 1, so if you haven't already listened to that one, maybe you should go check that one out first. It's not entirely necessary though. I hope you enjoy episode 3 of the If Then podcast entitled, If You Want to Succeed, Then Slow Down. Let me know what you think about it. My name is Jordan Taylor, and welcome to the If Then podcast. Our brains are a conglomerate of if-then statements, like in computer code, and oftentimes, new lines of code are hard to write in our mind when we're trying new things. For example, if I want to play piano, then I need to read music. Sitting down and coding that particular if-then statement could take years of dedication, but when we do sit down and create new then statements for a complicated if, it feels freaking amazing. This podcast is your weekly motivation and mine to get uncomfortable and write some neurological code. It's not about having the right opportunities. It's about handling the opportunities right. Mark Hunter. After episode 1 of If Then, we all started to walk. We all embarked on our own personal journeys to find the ocean, with no understanding of where it was or which way to go, but realizing the importance of just choosing a direction without having any frame of reference and just moving. Logically, in so doing, we'll always eventually hit the ocean, no matter which way we turn. Maybe initially we were a mile from the beach without knowing and started walking in the opposite direction all the way through the Middle East and Asia, only hitting the East China Sea years later. But who cares, I argued in episode 1. At least we got there. We'll always get there if we just start walking. Well, what I realized this week on my journey is that that's not the full story. There's more to this dangerous adventure than I let on. See, on my own personal route to the ocean, I realized that I had a serious problem. A problem that left me withered, injured, cracked, and I was worried it might get even worse. Alright, do I have everything? Water, backpack, phone, check. Alright, day 1 of my journey to the ocean. I'm not sure which way to go, but that's not the point. I'm just gonna start walking and I'll have to find it. That's the beauty. So I'll pick this way. Here we go. And post to Instagram, and the journey begins. The day I started was a beautiful day. Conditions pristine, a mindset recharged. After all, I did listen to the first episode of the If Then podcast, and I mean, it was pretty good. I even gave it a 5-star review and shared about it on Instagram to maybe win those AirPods at the end of May. That first day, I walked 35 miles. I was sick of where I was, and I wanted to get to the ocean as fast as possible, so I pushed as hard as possible. And I was amazed with how much a new mindset could push me to do something so noteworthy, something I'd never in my wildest dreams imagine I could do. Well over a marathon in one day. This new mindset I carried with me, it was something special. 35 miles in one day, anything is possible. If I can do it, you can too. Get out there and crush those miles. And post. Alright, set up camp now. Oh, my feet. Oh wow, that really hurts. Wow, that's sore. The next day I woke up and it was surprisingly scorching for that time of year. And I was even more sore than I thought I'd be after a good night's sleep. I guess this is what walking 35 miles does to you. I made so much ground that it was totally acceptable to rest my body up for the next big push the next day. The weather forecast seemed to be favorable then too, which would definitely help with my next big goal. I wonder if I can go 40 miles tomorrow. My leg's still sore though. No, this isn't supposed to be easy. No, I think I can do it. Gotta keep moving. Get there as fast as I can. Morning came. Perfect conditions as promised. I actually woke up at 5 a.m. to get an early start. I was sure to post about that too, and accomplished my goal, 40 miles. An impressive feat. My Achilles, though, started to ache around mile 35, but I mean, I had to get to 40. So I rested for a day or two. Alright, it was 5, but I had made some good progress, and the rain had also settled in, so the timing honestly couldn't be better. There you go, 75 miles down, push through the pain, and anything can be achieved. Oh man, my feet. I didn't know they could blister like that. What in the world? I'm gonna have to take a break. Wow. I'll rest up and try and hit it hard again next week. I was surprised and a little embarrassed with how exhausted and beat down I was when the sun rose. Not just physically, but mentally as well, after just a week of walking. Not walking today, or most likely tomorrow. How many more hundreds of weeks might this go on? How many years could potentially go by? I honestly feel kinda terrible, and this is only week 2. I found myself resting on the hot days, by a fire on the cold days, and under a tarp on the rainy days. Every step a dull pain, so I could hardly be blamed for the lull in pace. Very few days were spring-like perfection, and so very few days had forward progress. On the perfect days, then, I found myself sprinting, traveling all day, all out, with an urgency built up from the days of idling. Stop. Okay. 35 miles again today. Big push. Follow your dreams, and you can do big things too. Okay, seriously though, where is it? Where? Maybe I got lucky and picked the close route. That's all I can hope. That's all I can hope for tomorrow. A month went by, and then another, and then another, and then hills formed and flattened. Those were hard enough. And then, are those mountains in the distance? Mentally, being out in the elements day in and day out with injuries and such little promise of any sign of an ocean was honestly debilitating. And then that mountain. And that's when it got serious. I sat at base camp for 2 weeks in the shade of the peaks. The shadows cast matched my darkened spirits, trying everything to heal and recover my legs, feet, my entire body. I just needed 1 week of perfect conditions to get over the top. Every day it rained and I sat. I just had the hope tomorrow will be better, as the rain pelted the tarp. Another post to Instagram. I wonder why I only got a few likes on that one. Does no one care I'm out here anymore? Doing, honestly, what they won't even try? Then the morning came, and the mud took over. But it had been too long, and I had to start no matter what. This was getting ridiculous. I got up, and I trudged. And after a few sinking steps, I paused. My boots slurped from the sticky mud as my feet sank. My backpack shifted. Tomorrow will be better. I backtracked, set up camp, the phone again. Another post. More likes this time. Good. They do care. Another night fell. Another day under the looming mountain. Tomorrow will be better. Late morning, I woke up. Why does it keep being so cold? It's not even that late in the year, and it's still wet out here. What? Take some time today for your mental health. Today is dedicated to marshmallows and recovery. Wait, is that Jeremy? We left at the same time. How did Jeremy get to the ocean so fast? I saw his posts. I was waking up earlier. I was pushing harder. Like seriously harder. This is ridiculous. This is so stupid. Camp, another fire, another post, an Instagram story this time. Not many views. They don't care. This is probably all just stupid anyways. Then the next day came. Wait. There's a nice breeze. The first in weeks. Wow. Perfect temperatures. Perfect everything. Maybe I can do this. I think I can actually make it over the top. This is it. This is the day I've wanted. Finally. Here we go. Alright, it's the big day, starting the big climb. What mountain in your life do you need to climb? We all have one. Send me a message of what yours is, and then just start. Oh! Ow! No, my ankle! God, this is stupid. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I quit. And I really did. I quit that day. And can you blame me? I broke my ankle. Like I physically couldn't walk. I couldn't take another step even if I tried. It wouldn't be smart to go on. After 3 months and not as many miles as I had hoped, I slunk home. It's understandable, but the hard thing to suggest to somebody at that point in their life is that maybe it was their own fault and not anything else. Not the weather, the mud, the fall, just theirs. Maybe I should have taken a different approach altogether from the very first day, and then none of that would have mattered or happened. I heard a story last month about the men who raced to the South Pole on Matt DeVela's YouTube video, The Problem with Most Productivity Advice. There were 2 groups who wanted to be the first humans to ever reach the South Pole. One group's strategy was exactly mine. As Greg McEwen put it in that video, quote, "They walked with an insecure overachiever approach. They would walk all day on the good weather days, and then on the bad weather days, be so exhausted they would make no progress at all and felt the psychological burden of not making even an inch of progress forward." Unquote. Sometimes they would travel as much as 50 miles a day. The other group took the exact opposite approach. They did the thing honestly harder to do. They limited themselves. They committed to 15 miles a day every single day, no matter the conditions, no matter what the morale, no matter anything. On bad days, 15 miles. But more notably, on good days, they would simply walk 15 miles even if they felt fresh and could go further. They purposefully held a consistent, sustainable pace. For the first group, the fastest way in their mind was to go all out every single good weather day. At camp, they complained and complained about the situation and the weather, all while the other team, slow and steady, progressed daily. 15 miles, no matter what. They kept that steady pace. So in the end, what happened? Well, the 15-mile group, they got there 30 days ahead of the insecure overachievers, and all even safely made the long journey home. McEwen points out how the biographer describes them almost miraculously, quote, "They progressed every day without particular effort," unquote. One of the hardest tasks humans had ever done in history, done without particular effort. Meanwhile, the other team, they tragically died from their effort. Recently, I've come to grips with the fact of why all my hobbies seem to die in the tundra. on the journey. Every single time I get into something new and begin the long process of writing new if-then statements in the computer of my brain, I go all out. I get impatient. I overachieve. 24/7, it's all I think about. Literally, it's all I do. I write massive neurological programs in an incredibly short amount of time, like Neo learning Kung Fu. More code than most people would be willing to write in that small span of time, and I take pride in that. But then, predictably, my computer fries from the workload and burns up. And the people I thought I was better than slowly pass my programs with more lengthy, advanced, clean pieces of working code in their minds. And I never finish my program. I never reach my ocean while they're all on the sand. I do not want to make the same mistake again. My newest venture is what you're listening to, this podcast. And I've been actively working to slow down, to pace myself, to find my 15 miles a day and slowly chip away, consistently, sustainably. And I think I really found something that works incredibly well. Next week, I'm excited to share that secret strategy I've been following to get a ton done without burning out, all while leading a very tight schedule. So I'll leave you with this. It's not about having the right opportunities. It's about handling the opportunities right. Mark Hunter. Thank you so much for listening to the third episode of the If Then podcast. If you have feedback you want to give me, or if you have anything you want to say, email me at contact@ifthenpodcast.com. And if you would, leave me a 5-star review if you found this podcast valuable. It really helps the podcast to get seen by other people like yourself. We reached number 26 for education on all of Spotify, and I have you to thank for that. We're almost at 200 reviews on Apple Podcasts and 300 on Spotify. And as an extra bonus, for those of you who help me spread the word, I've been giving away 2 free 1-month Audible gift cards every week this May. Last week, Tabitha and Jonathan won a free credit for an audiobook of their choice, plus access to their Plus catalog, which includes thousands of audiobooks with no credits needed. And if you win this week, don't worry, the gift card is available to you even if you already have an Audible account. All you have to do to enter to win is take a screenshot of this podcast and share it on your Instagram while tagging the account at IfThenPodcast in the post or story. If you shared the last 2 episodes, you can also share this one too to be entered to win again. And also, be sure to follow at IfThenPodcast on Instagram to find out if you're the winner this week. If we get 100 shares by the end of the month, each of you will be entered to win a pair of AirPods. We're over halfway there, so keep sharing. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Jordan Taylor, and what if then will you write today?